Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today, as the title suggests, we're going to be looking at 5 of my favourite album covers. Now, trying to get this down to a top 5 of all time is impossible, so hence why this is part 1. Because I don't want to hear any bitching. Why isn't this in there? Make your own list. So, here's what I had at hand, which is, to be fair, my entire collection, but it's not the point. So, coming up first, and these are in no particular order, just as they are. So, up first, we have got, boom, Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time by Derek Riggs. And this is not only my favourite album cover for Maiden, but also my favourite album of theirs too. So when the two coincide like that, it's always a treat. And just look at it. I don't even need to describe why that is my favourite album cover of theirs. I mean, I love the whole Blade Runner thing they got going, sort of Akira, cyberpunk kind of feel to it. Really cool. And I just love all the references as well to their other stuff, you know. Like you've got the sign for Acacia, the Iron Maiden poster there. You know, you've got, I don't know if you could see him down there, you've got the little black cat from Live After Death. Hello there. He's down there chilling. And then on the back, because unfortunately this isn't a gatefold, which is a shame. It hasn't got that gatefold action that we like over here, because it's got the full wraparound artwork. But even here, look, like, you know, Power Slave sort of thing going on over there. You've got where is it? Up here, you've got Icarus. You know, you've got 2 Minutes to Midnight. You've got the Phantom Opera House. You know, Live After Midnight and Blade Runner. I don't know if you could see that. No, it seems to go all blurry, but yeah. But it's just loaded with all the cool references. The colours are incredible. The level of detail, and Eddie just looks badass. I mean, look at him. Oh, he's packing. He is packing heat, and he doesn't care who knows it. So yes, this is definitely up there in my favourites, and just phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Up next, we've got Celtic Frost, Emperor's Return by Philippe Lauverre. Now, you might recognise his work from bands like Creator, Vendetta, Hyrax, Ex Mortis. You know, it's all very much in the vein of like Franz Frazetta, Boris Vallejo, Julie Bell, Les Dennis, you know, that kind of old school sword and sorcery kind of thing. And just look at that. There's a reason why it's on my wall, as you can see. It's just fantastic. That to me just bleeds metal. You know, just birds with big jugs, a monster, swords flying around, probably somewhere. Look, spikes, chains and leather and rivets. Oh yes, you know that reference? Leave it in the comment box if you do. But yeah, absolutely cool stuff. It gives me that sort of like, yeah, this is metal every time I see it. Really cool. And this and Morbid Tales are definitely my joint favourite releases from Celtic Frost. But keep it under your hats. I didn't like To Megatherion. Didn't do it for me. I didn't like the ghost vocals. I didn't like the slow version of Circle of the Tyrants. It wasn't for me. It was. I can see why people love it. And I can see why it's people's favourite. But for me, it just doesn't hit the notes like those two albums do. Those two are so punky and just metal, just speedy. They just sound naughty, you know. So up there, definitely for sure. And those Hellhammer demos too. Don't get me started. But that's another video. That's another video. Now, up next, we are talking gatefold action, but it's not a complete wraparound piece of art, so which is a kind of a shame, but it is what it is, and that is Imprecation. And I can never, ever pronounce what this album's bloody called. Theurgia Goetia Summer. It's some kind of Latin or ancient Greek or something. I'm guessing Latin. I don't know. But yeah, by Chris Moyen. He's a French artist who has cemented his place in the underground, like arguably more than anyone. You know, if you're into your underground death metal or black metal, mainly the blackened death metal kind of stuff, you know, your war metal, bestial black metal, etc., you would have seen his work around. I mean, I've got a couple of them behind me right there. You know, there's Goat Lord, there's Morbosadad, and they're split with Perversa, and he's done so many more. And he's one of those artists I don't feel gets utilised to his full potential enough, because when he does full colour works like this, I mean, look at that. That's like, that's the coolest rendition of the Last Supper I ever seen, right? I mean, there's no messing with it. Absolutely fantastic, and I love his coloured pieces. You know, it's all like this one. By the looks of it, I don't know how it was, but I think it's coloured pencil, which is an aesthetic I love. And if you want extra bonuses for all of you fancy vinyl heads out there, get a look at this. Oh, oh, oh. Not just coloured vinyl, my friend. Look at that picture disc. Oh, yeah. And it's got the demo on the other side, the ceremony of the 9 angles. It's pretty cool, but look. Oh, and it's so sharp and clean. It's not fuzzy, it's not blurry. It's just perfect. Absolutely fantastic. And as I say, he's one of those underground figures, a bit like a Sadistic Rock from Australia. You know, you see his style, you immediately know who it is. You know, same with many artists out there. You know, James Anthony Sargent with like his work for Unmerciful Terror and Absolution. You know, Unmerciful Terror being my own little grindcore slash sludge project for any of you who are into that sort of thing. Might do some music for it soon, might not, don't know. But what the point? But yeah, Chris Moyan, absolute beast, and that's by far my favourite piece of work of his. Now, up next, we've got Mortician, Hacked Up for Barbecue by Wes Bensketer. And just look at it. It is dark, it is moody. I mean, just the view of the chair, it's like, are we just getting a view of the room, or is that what the victim's seeing as they're being forced into this bloodshed, if you would? I'm brilliant. But I just love the little references as well. I look like the skin there, and it also looks a bit like the Evil Dead dude, but also got that whole Texas Chainsaw thing going on. You know, got the bodies all sewed up there, barely see. And look at the chair. Oh, I bet it's uncomfortable as all hell to sit on that. You think the one from Game of Thrones is uncomfy? Look at this one. It's got a little foot on there. It's got a pig, slaughterhouse sort of thing going on. Love it, love it, love it. And just the dark, dingy colours. Again, the detail, the attention to and the chandelier with the skulls, with the ribs, and just it's just it bleeds horror, which for Mortician is just mate. They must have absolutely emptied their nads when they opened the mail and saw that bad boy. Holy hell! It's just it's eerie, it's ghastly, it's gross, and it sets the mood of the album. You know, it's like, right, this is what the album sounds like. It's a great visual aid, and it's just absolutely perfect. Cannot go wrong with that. So, yeah, definitely one to keep an eye on. And last but not least, of course, we've got Bolt Thrower, Realm of Chaos by John Civic. This is the remaster, you could say, of the artwork, because the original was again done by John Civic, and he was the illustrator for Warhammer in like the late 80s, early mid 90s maybe, and he did a lot of the really iconic pictures that you see on those old school Warhammer manuals and White Dwarfs and whatnot. But when Earache licensed it, it was just a, Games Workshop back then was a one building operation. And I think they got licensed it for like 13 years, so from 89 to 2002. And then when the copyright ran out in 2002, obviously Games Workshop was this multinational corporation by this point. It was everywhere. Not as much as it is now, Jesus. But back then, particularly. And I think they just, I think they like threatened to sue them or something, saying that in copyright infringement, how they shouldn't have been using it in the first place or something. But because they had a contract drawn up, it was like, well, you can't do anything now, so shut your mouth. But instead of just not putting the album out again, they got John Civic to come in to do another rendition, only this is the copyright friendly version. So those aren't Space Marines and those aren't orcs, okay? Get it out of your brain. These are original creations. Got a little bit of a zoom in on the back there. One of the portions been reversed as well, which is really cool. So he's there, gung, 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 gung. He's loving it. And on this version as well, you get some of the concept art, saying where everything is, and obviously there's the preliminary for the final version, and everything's labelled on there, so definitely no copyright being infringed upon. These are all original designs, all done by old Johnny Boy, and there's the original concept again, preliminary sketch, just in the background there behind the lyrics. Don't know if you can make that out. But John Civic now, I mean, other than being awesome at doing fantasy sci-fi stuff, as you can see, he's also done loads of like scientific books. So if you see any really good illustrations of like dinosaurs and stuff like that, there's a good chance John Civic did them, because that's his bread and butter these days. It's awesome. Loads of science manuals, drawing fossils, like I say, dinos, but all in like their like natural environments with the trees and shit. Yeah, particularly like ones of like dinos fighting and stuff. Very good chance old Johnny Boy did them. So there you have it. 5 of my favourite album covers, part 1. What are some of your favourite album covers? Leave them down in the comments. Let old Aaron know. And until then, see you next time. Keep it metal, keep it underground.